you? This is Gil. So this is in the backyard of our new house. Wow, we've been here now, what, 2 months now? We lived here for 2 months now. And we absolutely love it here right now in my new area. So yeah, this is the backyard, which I haven't made a lot of video of lately, you know, so yeah. The grass is nice over here, so yeah. I need to clean up a little bit, but anyway. So, for this video, I'm gonna post some more facts about me. And the number one fact for the day is that I tend to still be a kid. I'm a kid still. I mean, I still love to do things that a kid likes to do, like certain things, you know, like, well, I like to ride that electric scooter, you know, I love to ride scooters, you know, like, well, only the electric ones. Well, I don't know if that would be considered a kid's thing or not, but I like to ride scooters and electric bikes and stuff. I like to ride bikes still, like, but besides all that, I love to do things that some kids like to do. I mean, like, it'll never grow out of me, you know, like, I still love to watch cartoons, especially like the old school ones. Well, a cartoon, I like to watch cartoons, you know, mostly the old school ones. And I still love to, I mean, I still like to play with those certain toys, you know, like, I still play with those things, you know, or it's not so much like playing with toys or anything, but it's just like, I could never really get over thinking about my childhood, playing with those toys that I had when I was a kid. I could never really get over thinking of those days of when I loved the Legos and things like that, you know. But I still tend to like to play with toys when I come around some of them. You know, I still do at 51 years old, so yeah. And speaking of more things of kids, music, I mean, I love kids music, you know, like, it's some of my favorite things, you know, kids music. So yeah, like, speaking of which, you know, like the intros I do with some of those videos, that they're actually kids music, or, you know, like for the school, it's the Hap Palmer album. I used a lot of those. I used pretty much every song for intros here and there on the videos, on some of the videos that I made. So yeah, I mean, that's an example of things that I love. I mean, I still love, I love kids' music, you know, like certain songs, you know. And so, yeah, speaking of which, you know, being a kid, you know, I was really getting into the song, The Cat Came Back, and I really got into that song. I love that song. I was loving that song, man. It's a kid's song by Learning Station, it's called. Well, The Cat Came Back is the name of the song, and it's by the group The Learning Station. And then I still love to eat cereals, you know. I still love cereals like Captain Crunch and Lucky Charms. I love those things, you know. The kid in me, I could never grow out of those. I love those things, you know. Kids cereals, you know, like things like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's fact number one for the day. You know, I still act like a kid, so yes. I still act like one, you know, and I cannot help that, you know. It's just fun to do, but it's mostly when I'm by myself or when I'm around my family only, you know, like just my immediate family only. So I still tend to act like one, you know. I mean, I'm still a kid. I'm still a kid in God's eyes, after all, right? So yeah. Fact number two for the day, I still make those noises, those cat calls and bird calls. Speaking of kids, I was doing that when I was a kid, making those bird calls. Today, I still make those noises, you know. I still make them. But the fact about those, that I only do it when I'm by myself though. And it was the same thing with the noises that you always heard me making in those videos. I only did it when I was by myself, or when my mom was there only. But I mean, it could be my whole family, that just my immediate family only, that I would do it in front of. You know, like it was only my immediate family. It was only when my mom was there. Only when my mom was there that I would make those cat calls or those bird noises, you know. So yeah, you want to hear one? Yeah, I mean, I still make those noises, you know, like I make them still. But I only do it when I'm by myself though, like especially like if I'm in the car, going on the way home to work or something. Or I mean, I do it when I'm home by myself only when I'm by myself though. So I mean, it was even back in the 80s and 90s when I used to make those noises, those bird calls and cat calls. So yeah, I mean, it was even during the 80s. I only did it when my mom was there, or if it was only when my mom was there. Or if I was by myself only. It was only those times that I would make those cat calls, you know. But, you know, it was only my immediate family, but my immediate family would hear me make those noises only if my mom was there. Only if my mom was there, though, by the way. So anyway, so that's another big fact about me for the day, you know. Yeah, excuse me for that. And speaking of which, the third fact of the day, I know I said it before millions of times, but these video cassettes that I posted, that I've been posting all this time, they were originally meant for my personal use only. My personal use only. They're only meant for me only to see. And my immediate family, you know, of course, but it was only meant for me to see them, you know, like, because I only made those videos because I had this thing about wanting to remember my life, you know. I just had this thing about wanting to remember my life throughout the 90s and like the 2000s and stuff. I just wanted to. It was just for my personal use only, you know, like I only wanted to watch these, I only wanted to remember. I just made these videos so I can remember, because I just have the fun of doing that, remembering my life, you know, because, and of course, speaking of those tapes, you know, when I did a lot of blogging on those tapes in the 2000s and the 80s, 90s, I only blogged, that was actually more to myself. I was blogging to myself only, mostly to myself. My future self, that is. But, you know, it was like, I was blogging on those tapes because so that way when I see them in the future dates, that way, like me talking to myself in the future, I could tell myself into the future what I was thinking in my mind back then, you know. So that way I can help me remember, like in the future, like when I watch those tapes, in this future that it is right now. That's the original thing about these blogs, my blogs. I mean, like why I blogged in the 90s, because I just wanted to like remember. I just had this thing about wanting to remember my life, you know, like in today's times, like wanting to remember my 90s life, you know. So when I blogged, I was doing that so that way I could tell my future self right now what I'm actually doing, so I can remember. I can remember what I was doing in my life, you know, back then. So I can remember in detail. So I was talking in the video, blogging, and it was originally for me, like for me to interpret it, you know, interpret my own life, you know, interpret what I'm saying or what I remember in detail, you know. Like I had this thing about remembering my life in detail, you know. So these video tapes, of course, you know, that includes all the little crazy noises that you heard me make, the cat calls and the bird call. Ow. So anyway, I can make a good one if you want me to, but anyways. Well, you know, about those noises, I mean, I made those in those videos because I was by myself in those when I made the video. Of course, with the camera, I mean, it's not even a person, so, I mean, I made those noises, like when all those bird calls you saw, I made those noises while I was by myself, or when my mom was there, whenever my mom was there, you know, or my immediate family, but only when my mom was there. So, and that explains why these videotapes, when you hear my cat calls, and you know, like that, it was at the time when I was making the video, I was by myself. So yeah. So these videotapes, like I said, were originally for my personal use only for my personal use, but since it got old now, and since I decided that, I mean, I don't need to hide my noises, you know, it's stupid to be doing that, and it's stupid to be hiding, like, the crazy side on us, you know, it's stupid, it's stupid to do that, man. Like, why are we embarrassed, you know, like, well, it can be embarrassing to me, I mean, right now, it's embarrassing for me to make those sounds, but, I mean, yeah, anyway, so, yeah, that's a part of number 2, so that was 3. Now, when it comes to the general life, fact number 4, I guess that was fact number 1 for the day was, I'm still a kid in God's eyes, that is. In God's eyes, I'm still a kid. So I'm a kid. I don't want to grow out of my kid, you know. I don't want to grow out of being a kid, you know. And so, yeah, speaking of which, you know, being a kid, you know, I was really getting into the song, The Cat Came Back, and I really got into that song. I love that song. I was loving that song, man. It's a kid's song by Learning Station, it's called. Well, The Cat Came Back is the name of the song, and it's by the group The Learning Station. So that was fact number 1, I'm still a kid in God's eyes. Fact number 2 is I still make those noises, I still make those bird calls. And fact number 3, these videotapes were originally for my personal use only. So yeah, so now fact number 4, in general life, I'm 100% a submissive type of person. I'm not dominant in any way, none at all. I'm none at all dominant in any way. I mean, I tend to like for the person to tell me what to do, so to speak, you know, like, I like for the person to so to speak lead me, you know, so to speak, you know, like kind of like that, how I could explain it. But I mean, I like for the person to tell me like what to do next. I mean, like lead me, it's just me, man. It's the way I am, and it's especially true at my job. I mean. I probably would not make a good supervisor, I could tell you. Probably not, but I could be a supervisor. But I mean, if they just lead me the way. I mean, lead me the way on a supervisor. Yeah. But anyway, but I tend to be submissive. I am 100% submissive type. And so if you wonder why I'm shy, or well, not shy, but a lot of you out there, like, tend to be shied out of me. You know, like you guys, like a lot of you out there, or some people tend to be like scared of me. Like they tend to run away from me because they think I'm mean, you know, or they think that I'm one of those that's like, you know, like, you better obey me or whatever. I mean, I don't know how I could explain it. But I mean, like I tell you, I'm 100% the submissive type of person. I mean, I'm nothing of dominant, you know. So like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of y'all, a lot of people tend to be like, I mean, like scared of me, like, or shied out, just shied out of me, you know. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, shied out, and because the guy probably think I'm in a bad mood. I'm not. No, I'm nothing of like that. I'm nothing of like that. I'm nothing of a bad mood, you know. Yeah. So I just look like that. I just look like I'm in a bad mood, you know. So, but I just look that way, but I'm not. I'm never in a bad mood, you know. I'm always ready to listen, you know. I'm always out there ready to listen, you know. Yeah, listen to you guys, you know. So yeah, I'm always ready, even though I don't look like it, you know. So yeah, I mean, so that which can actually bring back now another fact about me. Fact number 5, in general life, I tend to like it better. I tend to make it you before me. Because, like, whenever, like, such as, like, in my job, like, whenever, like, like, if it's a certain situation when like, I'm driving the high reach in my job, for an example, you know, I drive the high reach, and then, you know, like, and whenever I see that someone needs my help, like, with my position, you know, someone needs help, you know, like, to help them bring down pallets or something, you know, like, I'm more than happy to spend a little time doing the little job. I'm more than happy to do that. Right, and then I'll worry about my job. But I'm pretty good. I'm really good at what I'm doing, so it's not really an issue with time or anything. You know, it's not an issue with. But you know, besides that, you know, like, I mean, I tend to make it you before me. I mean, like, where, like, I mean, whenever a situation arises, you know, like whenever like help is needed, I'm more than happy to come in before I finish my day. And I mean, it's kind of like an example of how I can explain it. That's how I can explain it. But I mean, like, for an example, if I come around someone who has car problems and they need a jump or something, and then but I'm kind of running late home, or I want to go home because I want to do this or I want to do that, I tend to want to just stay there to help the person because I know how that person feels. So, like, I mean, I know how it is. For that example of a situation, I know how it is. You know, I know. I mean, I've been there before, and I appreciated it really well whenever it came to whenever someone helped me, and it was like the most appreciated thing that I ever had. That was like the most appreciated thing I ever had in my life. You know, like to receive the help. You know, when I needed it, and so I want to return that favor to anyone who needs my help. For that example, that's just an example, you know. So yeah, so that's yeah. So it's you before me, and for one other example, like I would do it, you know, like if I came across a situation that I had to. I mean, like let's say, I mean, if I was to come around a situation like this, you know, it doesn't happen. It almost never does. But I mean, I'm just bringing an example of what I'm like, you know, like. So I have a $5 bill in my pocket, and I'm just like, I have a $5 bill in my pocket, and I want to go out and get a little cheeseburger from Carl's Jr. or something, and then I walk by this person, homeless guy or something, and I could tell that he's really hungry. I could really tell. I mean, that he's really hurting in life, and then he's begging for something, and I'm gonna right away give the money before me. I'm not gonna worry about buying my hamburger. I'll just do it like later on in the day. I mean, like, I'd rather give the guy the $5 bill so he can have his I'd rather give him my cheeseburger, so to speak, than I'll worry about myself later on. You know, that's that's the way I am. You know, and then I know I came across someone, you know, like where they obviously they're like homeless. Well, they're homeless, or I mean, they talk to me really nice. I mean, and they're friendly, you know, and they talk to me, and it's like, and everything, and then, you know, and without even them asking me, I offer it. I mean, if they want some free clothes, because sometimes I had like a lot of things to give away. I mean, I offer it. I mean, and then you know, or it's like I always offer something. I always offer something. You know, like whenever I have a situation or whenever I come around it. You know, so that's me. That's me. That's how I am. Okay, that was fact number 5, right? Yeah, that was fact number 5. Okay. Okay, fact number 6. I appreciate even the smallest things in the world. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how small of a thing that you've done for me. I mean, I really appreciate every little thing that you've done. Any little good thing, good deed in me. Or I appreciate every gift. Even any kind of gift. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to appreciate it. It's not so much the gift. I mean, it's not. It's not so much the gift. It's just that you thought about me, you know. It's just that fact that you thought about me, you know, like someone who's gonna send me a little card, you know, like a little card, even if it was something that cost 25 cents. I don't care, man. Like, there's no price, man. There's no price at this, you know. There's no price on this, you know. Like, I mean, some of you, like, I know some of you gave me like little small gifts, you know, like these little gifts, you know, but I appreciate every gift. Now, I don't care how small it is. I appreciate the smallest things in life. You know, I appreciate the smallest things. I mean, because for that example, because it's just that you thought about me. I mean that's all the money in the world right there. It's just the fact that you thought about me. You know, even to say hi to me. I mean, even to say hi to me, like, is something of a great appreciation. You know, even just a simple hi. Like just to post a simple hi, you know, even though I may not, I'm sorry if I don't respond, you know, but I see it. I mean, even those little things, the littlest things will appreciate me, and I mean, and speaking of little things that appreciate me, you know, like around the house, you know, like all the little things, you know, like the little things all around the house, you know, it's gonna appreciate me, like even like even these like the, how we call it, the low-end brand stuff. Like, if I have something and it's a low-end brand, I'm gonna appreciate it. I mean, such as this bike, for an example, you know, like this Walmart bike, you know, that I paid. It was $150. You know, people will go out and spend thousands of dollars, but this $150 bike, I appreciate having it. I mean, I love to ride it. I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care with the price. I mean, if I have it, I appreciate these things that I have. You know, like another what we call like what do we call that? Just being happy with what we have. You know, like. Even the last house that I lived in, I appreciated having the house, you know, like, but it was just a gift to God, you know, that we moved into this new one, you know. I mean, it's like, I mean, I liked the house, I mean, at the 23rd Street, but it's like the Lord, I felt like the Lord somehow was calling me to make some changes in life, you know. I mean, I don't really feel, I mean, that I was in control of all this, you know, really. I mean, and I know that for some of you may not be a believer, but for me, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I mean, I liked that 23rd Street house, but it's just somehow I felt like it was time to make a change in life, you know. So yeah, I mean, so the littlest things for me. So there you have it, man. I appreciate the littlest things, man. Even the smallest things. I appreciate even to this day. I mean, it's like I'm gonna remember pretty much everything that every good thing. I'm gonna remember pretty much every good thing, you know, in life, you know, like, especially like if I was given, I know like one of you gave me a lock, you know, gave me like a lock kind of key, you know, that was interesting, you know. Well, I still have all those little gifts, all the gifts that some of you had given, including you, Benson, man. I know, like, and yeah, including you. I mean, I still have all of you guys' gifts that you gave me. I still have them, you know. I still have them. I mean, I don't forget those things, you know. I don't, you know. That's me, you know. I mean, that's how I am, you know. So yeah. Well, okay. So I guess that wraps it up for the extra 6 facts about me. So yeah. So okay. So I hope you liked this video, and happy Halloween to you, to all of you. Happy Halloween 2021 to all of y'all. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.